The National Development Plan 3 highlights government commitment to increase competitiveness of the private sector by pursuing a better prioritized public investment agenda. This, according to budget experts, is evident in the just approved 2020-2021 budget framework paper, citing allocations made to key sectors that will spur economic growth. In the next financial year, government plans to construct 26 schools in 18 sub-counties, 115 seed secondary schools in 115 sub-counties, and 140 housing units for resettlement of 1,250 people living in disaster-prone areas. This, according to Julius Mukunda, the Executive Director of the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, is one of the opportunities for the private sector.
Now, that's a great opportunity, not only for construction industry, but also for local economic development, because where there is a secondary school, people will have to provide food, people will have to provide scholastic materials, communities will have to provide for other services. Jobs are created at these particular secondary schools.
The question, however, is what private sector players will benefit from such opportunities.
More than 70% of this entire budget is on procurement, provision of services, and I think traders should be able to be ready to tap into this particular opportunity.
Kubiri, along Mulago roundabout in Kampala, is one of the suburbs where several youth engage in carpentry. Here, everyone is working hard to deliver on time. Emmanuel Jamba is one of those who make a living from carpentry, and in the next financial year budget, to him, opens doors for him to supply government.
If they give me money, I can supply good things. As you have seen, they are the one making it.
Though Jamba and friends have capacity to supply furniture, they remain skeptical about their chances of landing lucrative contracts.
I'm not sure that the government can give us a contract to supply goods. I don't know. Why? I'm not sure at all.
But even with huge potential, Jamba lacks enough capital, meaning he can only borrow from financial institutions.
We don't have money. We wanted to go to the bank, but the bank, they charge a lot, so that is the reason why we cannot supply to the government. If the government give us money, we can supply to them.
But Dr. Fred Muhammad says access to cheap capital remains a challenge for local suppliers. In the 2020-2021 budget, government intends to borrow 3 trillion shillings internally, which does not favor local suppliers.
The bulk of the private sector that is going to borrow from the domestic market are the Ugandan bona fide manufacturers. The rest who are FDI are going to be coming in with their money from out there. Now you're beginning to get even a phase where it's going to be foreigners using Ugandan roads, foreign companies using Ugandan energy, and the foreign companies are not necessarily employing Ugandans. So it sets a wave of self-defeating decisions, that the decision you made yesterday actually undermines your decision of today. And the decision you make today undermines your decision of tomorrow.
Everest Kayondo, the chairman, Kampala City Traders Association Uganda, urges that for traders to benefit from the budget, there is need for government support.
For them, they look at the target without feeding the taxpayers. They need to help the taxpayers, sensitize them, and even help the failing businesses. But if the business which fails, just say goodbye and you forget about it and you go for the new ones, the emerging ones, at the end of the day we'll have nothing to tax.
But with government targeting to raise more money domestically, the revenue will still drive many out of business.
URA has to look into domestic taxes, and they should also go for indirect taxes. Because even direct taxes, sometimes they are squeezed, and we have had cases where they have put garnishi on people's accounts, which is unfortunate.
Experts, however, agree that for Uganda's budget to achieve its objective, there must be no politics in sector allocations.
Generally, the opportunities are being mitigated by the bigger actions of like borrowing in the domestic market, failing to curb corruption, failing to clear arrears, subsidizing the energy sector. The roads are now very bad. and we are failing to sustain them because the previous investments haven't given us the ability to maintain these roads, but also to continue with the further road investment program. So the opportunities that would have really come out are being muted by the negative consequences.
Nabakoza Lydia, NBS, live at 9.